What's up, Clipper Nation? You know who it is. It is the one and only Michael Matthew here with Full Clip Clippers Unleashed with my guy Beef, and we're here to talk. We're the Clippers. Just took care of business here Wednesday night, March 12th, knocking off the Miami Heat. It was a much-needed win after surprisingly losing on the road against the the New Orleans Pelicans. They look like the Bulls, the 96 Bulls when they play the Clippers, but man, the Clippers took care of business. They get this big win without Kawhi Leonard, so kudos to them. Beef, we got to talk about a lot going on. They on this road trip, 3-game trip. Before we even tackle today's game, we got to take them back to the night before. First of all, they came into this trip, no Ty Lue. He's still dealing with his back issue, so it's Coach Brian Shaw who's taking them on the road. It started off against the New Orleans Pelicans. They lose 127-120. Zion did his thing. What went wrong in that game? Because I don't know if you were surprised, but I was very surprised. I chalked that up as a win. I said, Clippers going to take care of business. They coming off a buzzer beater over the Sacramento Kings last time we saw them. They on a high horse. They're going to take care of business. But it didn't happen. What happened in yesterday's game before we tackle tonight's win?
Some of that New Orleans voodoo took place. That's what happened. But a lot of folks keep forgetting that Willie Green used to coach with the Los Angeles Clippers. He used to be on that coaching staff before.
Ah, that's right.
So, when ex-coaches go to a new team, they for sure got that team number, especially if they was real close like they was. Willie Green and Ty Lue was definitely very close.
Yeah.
So they for sure know what the philosophy looked like and things like that, i.e. Ty Lue versus Tibbs not too long ago, how the Clippers took care of the Knicks.
Yeah.
And if you look at Ty Lue versus Doc Rivers, how he usually take care of Doc Rivers in there. Yeah. And it's usually back and forth. So when a coach leaves a coaching tree and they see that coach again, they're going to try to make a statement in regards to that game. But just overall, the New Orleans Pelicans definitely turned into the 96 Bulls. It was an ultralight green out there because threes was falling from every which way. It didn't matter who jacked it up. They were just raining down, and it was just one of those games. It was bound to happen. You shake it off, and it's about how you respond, in which they responded very well against the Miami Heat.
And B, what I'm realizing with this Clipper team, especially lately, that we start off the year defense. They were a top 5 defense. Hell, they were a top 3 defense in the NBA. It seems like the defense has had its struggles, right? In the past, in the road trip prior, they went 2-6 during that 8-game road trip. They get back home. They win 3 straight. They go back on the road to play the Pelicans. They lose 127-120. It's the defense. I think for them to pick up wins down the season is crazy. That the offense seems like it's found its way when you have Bogi. Zoo is playing amazing basketball. Kawhi, whenever he's out there, looks great. James can give you 50 at any moment. And they don't even got Norman Powell back yet, which is going to take them to another level offensively. But it's defense for them. And giving up 127, if we would have talked about this 2 months ago, you would have been like, ain't no way, impossible. They going to let the Pelicans score 127 points. But that's what's happening, and it's like it's night and day. The games they win is because the defense is there, kind of like tonight's game that we're going to talk about more of. But with the games they lose, it looks like yesterday's game where it's big points given up, and they have to try to get in this shootout, which I don't think they're built for that type of basketball.
Well, you got to look at it like this, too. A lot of people kept preaching on defense, but you got to remember, a lot of bodies went out, a lot of bodies came in. So the defensive strategy that you had before with these previous bodies did not equal a great output on offense. Vice versa, now you're having a great output on offense, but you're lacking in defense. So it's going to kind of be a give and take type of thing. That's why Ty Lue and Brian Shaw, they kept tweaking those lineups in which when Norman Powell not being here, you see more Chris Dunn being out there. You had Derrick Jones coming off the bench. Some days he starts, some days he didn't. So it's a lot of chess pieces moving around because you're going to necessarily keep tweaking, and you have all these games to do it. But the whole thing is you cannot slide out of the playoffs doing it. So you got to be conscious of that and win games. But at the same time, you're going to keep moving these pieces around because the main goal is get in the playoffs and show out.
And guys just have to step up on that, defensive end to make things happen. The coaching, Jeff Van Gundy, we've given him praise all season. He has to make sure that they get those little things right because
I think he has.
He has. No, he's done a great job this year.
You got to think about it. Like players like Nico. Nico wasn't getting that much burn in the beginning of the season. Nico's here. Nico's one of those Swiss Army knives in which you put him in a game, he might not score a lot, but some games he scores, some games he's just active on the glass, making the right pass, got his hands in the passing lane, right? Chris Dunn, he was hurt a little bit with his knee. He comes back. He's consistently. In the New Orleans game, he got 3 steals. Tonight against the Heat, what do he got? 3 steals.
Yeah.
So his hands is definitely active. He's hard on the glass, things like that. So you're starting to see players like Amir Coffey is starting to come to around form. He's not having a good night shooting the ball. He's definitely being active on the defense end.
So maybe we need to discuss that, because the trade deadline comes for the Clippers. You move off of Terrence Mann, defensive guy, right?
Yeah.
You move off of Kevin Porter, who is a young guy that can play some defense as well. You bring in Bogdanovich, who's not really a defensive guy. He's more offense first. Batum, he has to play more. He's older. He's not the same guy. Ben Simmons you bring in because you're like, all right, this is a guy that can play defense. And that's it. That's what I'm saying. Like, Ben Simmons might be in the move that you like, what? I see what they were doing.
I wasn't excited for the Ben Simmons trade because the Ben Simmons trade is kind of like a carbon copy of the Kawhi Leonard that I have on the team, right?
Oh, okay.
Can't play back-to-backs. Most of the time it's going to be sitting.
I hate it.
So my whole thing was I just have another
Hell, he don't even
Kawhi
play
Leonard.
back-to-backs. He don't play at all.
He don't play at all. He hurt himself banging knees.
Man.
But he said with some inflammation and things like that.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is now like I signed Ben Simmons, but I haven't really seen him. People was hot and horny for the first couple of games that he was out there. And you clearly see it didn't last long, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't get up after that. So if you're looking at this, it just looks like these players have to buy in into what the Clippers are preaching. Jeff and them is preaching, and it will show as the schedule kind of rolls on and we kind of tighten up the loose screws.
And they just kind of get it right. So, like we said, they take this L. Zion looked amazing yesterday, with the Pelicans. They get a big win. But then tonight, the Clippers could have, kind of felt some type of way and suffered another loss. That's how it kind of looked in that last road trip. They would lose a game. You're like, how did they lose that one? And it's kind of like the loss the night before lingered over. Tonight, they said, not so fast. 119-104. They take care of the Miami Heat. Like the Pelicans, they aren't a great team, but they're solid and they can catch you slipping. And I think some of last night's loss was like, we're not about to let that happen again, even without Kawhi. You get big nights from Bogdanovich, 30 points, 11 rebounds. Another game with him rebounding well. Last time we saw him, I think he had like 14, 15 rebounds.
He's a good rebounding guard.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, really good rebounding guard. James Harden, 24, 11, and 8.
Don't expect nothing else.
Zubac, 26 and 13. His 10th straight double-double. So let's keep it there on Ivica Zubac because that guy is playing some. He has 11 double-doubles in his last 12 games. Last time we were in the building at Intuit Dome on Sunday night, Brian Shaw was there, and he just said, we expect that. Like, it's going to be a double-double, and we expect that. What type of double-double is it going to be? Is it going to be 10 and 10, closer to that, or is it going to be the 26 and 13 like we see tonight? Just talk about the way that he's performing this late in the season, and can he keep this up to continue to make the Clippers a tough team down the stretch?
Well, Zoo made his presence known early as the season started because remember the season, they started with no Kawhi, right?
Yeah.
So you had to find another third option. This couldn't be the Norm and James Harden show. So as you know, James Harden commands and demands so much attention. So did Norm.
Yep.
That created a third option for Zoo, and Zoo took full advantage of it. And it's good to see Zoo, like you said, Brian Shaw. We talked to him.
Yeah.
And Brian Shaw actually.
We didn't talk to him. You talked to him,
Hey,
B. What'd he tell you?
Hey, it's a weird thing, man. Once we in that building, it's one show, one band, one sound.
I feel
it. But talking with Brian has been with Zoo. With his previous team, the other LA team.
Los Lakers.
We just say the other LA team. We don't speak of that name on this show. The
Okay,
other LA
okay.
team. But he has seen Zoo grow over the years. And Zoo, if you didn't watch him when it was during the Olympics time, Zoo was very dominant trying to get his country and 2, the Olympics, being
Bosnia,
being that dominant force. So it's something that has been brewing over time. He's keep developing. He's doing better at finishing at the rim. He's more confident in that little stop and pop floater that he does from around the free throw line. So just seeing Zoo being active on the glass, being confident in his hands, because at first when Zoo was here, he couldn't catch for shit. Excuse my language. It just slipped out.
He had the Kwame Browns.
Oh my God. he had small hands, big ball. But if we're looking at it, Zoo has been very present within this time, and he's just been dominant. It's just when he walks in the game, he sets that screen, it's lobs. James Harden's going to create those lobs.
Yeah.
That creates instant
Easy
offense
buckets.
for him.
Easy buckets.
And then on the defense end, he's been active. Players, and I'm just going to put it out there, Zubac is reaping the benefits from players like Chris Dunn, Derrick Jones, forcing people to make bad choices when they shoot, which now creates opportunity for Zubac to get the rebound. And he's putting his body on body, being physical. That's the whole thing, being physical. And it's paying off night and day. Shout out to Amir Johnson because he's working with him down here in the post.
Shout out to Amir, Westchester High School, baby. But yeah, man, like you mentioned, like those wing guys have to play defense. That's where their defense is going to come. Zoo isn't Anthony Davis, so he's not jumping out the gym and moving like that, but he's just a big body that's being a tough guy to get around even when he's there at the rim. But something you said that he's being confident. I think another big part of the performance that he's having, the way that he's playing, is his teammates being confident to like, hey, let's make sure that Zoo gets some touches. I can remember yesterday's game watching it. That third quarter, they primarily played through Zoo. He had, of his 6 assists, he had like 4 in that quarter. He had buckets in that quarter. If he didn't get the assist, it was a hockey assist. Because the double came, he found a guy, they swung it, another guy knocked it down.
Zoo was always a good passer, but everything, all the rest of the tangibles that came with him, he's starting to show some post moves, some spin moves. And again, that floater, that little
he works on that. That's not no luck.
It's not just I wake up in the morning and I'm just going to shoot it. He's actually putting time into his craft.
Bro almost had the 3 pregame throwing that.
Nah, I don't know about that. If someone teach him the sky hook, it'd be over with. But it's just that now Zoo understands that he is a key player within this Clipper organization. If he balls, the team goes. When he doesn't ball, it doesn't go. So looking at that, and then if you look at the most recent stand of the most recent game with the Miami Heat, Bogi just went off for 30+ in this game, and he's a new acquired Clipper that just got here. So just seeing Bogi coming into old form, right? He played with the Atlanta Hawks before. He was one of those kind of scorers, had some injuries and stuff like that. But I think this game against the Miami Heat that we just recently saw was a coming out party for Bogi.
Yeah, just the more opportunity he gets, he goes crazy. As you notice, whenever Kawhi isn't playing and he's that second wing guy next to James Harden, he goes crazy, man. And he's a guy, like you said, with the Hawks, he was someone that was a big play, big bucket type of guy. But then injuries occurred and, his career went another way. But now here with the Clippers, you got a lot of different weapons around him. Even on the defensive end, that can kind of help hide him a little bit to where when there's no Kawhi, hey, you going to get your 15 to 17 shots up, and he can knock the 3-ball down. Ty Lue said it a couple weeks ago or a week ago in one of the pressers. I was surprised what he can do with the ball in his hand playing pick and roll, especially when you have a guy like Zoo. Bogi has been a great asset and piece. We talked about Ben Simmons, how that trade, we don't like it. This one is a thumbs up.
Ben Simmons wasn't even a trade. It was just a sign and go. It was
it was a
sign and go type of thing. Like, we really haven't seen him. We know what Ben Simmons can do is more of a mental thing, but now I'm kind of figuring out what are we doing? Like,
they got Bogi.
But I will say this, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase it. Shout out to Joey in regards to this. Bogi spoke highly on James Harden, in which he said that James Harden is a player that actually is motivating him to be better than what he is. Just being that type of veteran on the back-to-back, you get in that 2, go to sleep, he's up immediately, right? Getting into it because he wants to win every single game. I'm kind of paraphrasing the quote. But just hearing that from Bogi, right? And it just kind of segues right into James Harden and how he has been one of those key players in making the Clippers go at all times, right? The beard, the one that's feared. He might not be shooting good from the field, about around close to 40%, a little
Nah,
lower
you
than
generous,
that.
man.
I'm being
He close
generous.
to 40, but 39.4.
Yeah, I'm being generous.
exact.
That's why I said close,
Yeah,
close to 40. But
Yeah.
just the Beard doing what the Beard's doing. He has been a big player in regards to sacrificing and stuff like that. But he has been a person that actually bought into the Clippers culture, bought into the necessarily being that leader of this team, right? Does he do some bonehead stuff? Hell yeah. But the Beard is still should be feared because he put a 50 ball not too long ago on somebody.
Yeah, and he's a guy that everybody's crazy because everybody thought, oh, man, he's on the downtrot. He might be out the league in a couple years and things like that. He's, 35, 36 years old. And the guy was an all-star this year. Like you say, he scored the 50-point game. And then he just stacks the stat sheet, man. He fills it up. Even when he's off. Tonight he was off, 6 for 20, but he still ended up with 24 points because, of course, he's going to do what? Get to the free throw line.
He's going to command attention. It's like
he has to.
He's going to command attention. So once he commands attention, it opens the game for players like Bogi. It opens the game for Zoo. And he has to be that force on the thing because, as we know, Kawhi is not playing back-to-backs. Now, Kawhi does ball. No shade to fun guy.
He should be back Friday.
He balls when he's there, but in the meantime, in between time, when he's not in service, we have to find somebody that's of service, and that's James Harden. And James is not going to get off that court. You got to literally drag him off that court.
It could be blood on his socks and anything. He waking up and putting on his work clothes.
Now, does James do some things that we kind of question in some regards to jacking up some shots? He do, but I feel
that's him. That's James Harden.
That's been James Harden's DNA since he been
Artesia High School.
Since OKC. I'm gonna stay professionally. Probably since Arizona State.
Artesia High School has been James.
But James has been the key force in stirring this ship that necessarily keeps going and going. It might have some times we crash into a rock, but everybody else, Chris Dunn, Amir Coffey.
Everybody has their struggles.
They patch it up and we keep it rolling. So you can't be perfect.
Yeah.
We don't got a yacht. You know what I mean? We got a good old.
got a Clipper ship.
Got Clippers, a good nice ship, but it ain't a yacht. You know what I mean? Shout out to Steve Ballmer.
But just James, 24, 11 assists, 8 rebounds. Just the way that he can make and make things easier for people as long as getting his is big time. So shout out to James Harden, Uno doing his thing. But tonight I think it was also about on the defensive end. Like they made it tough. Bam Adebayo, the Olympic gold medalist, he only finished with 6 points, 7 rebounds. Shout out to Asia Wilson, of course. We see you.
We see you.
But that was not only Zoo's effort; it was a team effort of making it tough. Like Tyler Hero got his, Wiggins got a little bit, but they said we're gonna take away Bam, and that defense attack. They figured it out compared to the night before.
Well, this is being smart with Zoo playing Bam because if you look at Bam and Zion, that's two different animals. Two different animals, right? Yeah. Zion coming downhill is like a bowling ball. Nobody can really stop that. But with Bam is not a player I really see coming downhill. He likes to bang with you, but I don't see him starting from the three-point line going full speed at you downhill.
Yeah, no, not like Zion.
That's not Bam's game. So him going against Zoo, another big body, they just banging down low. Whoever wins. Yep. And I think the Clippers, to set the tone in this game, shot the ball well. And was very active on the defensive end, right? Like, I don't expect Chris Dunn to shut down Tyler, right? But I do expect him to be a irritant to him, Yeah. I don't expect Derrick Jones to come in the game and shut it down, but I expect him to be an irritating factor. And again, being active in the passing lane, being active on defense results in you shutting down certain players. I don't expect you to shut down everybody, but shut down somebody.
And then team defense. That team defense with Van Gundy, when they're on, right, they have games, of course, like last night where you like, dang, they can't stop a nosebleed, Yeah. But then they have a game tonight, which we're more accustomed to when it comes to what we've seen from the Clippers so far this year, is team defense. Like the guys are communicating well, guys are switching well, closing out on guys and then getting back. A lot of deflections, like you said earlier, your guy Chris Dunn getting steals, and not just the steals, it's the deflections. Same for James. James going to get a couple steals because he's active hands. And I think tonight you saw more of a Maybe they won 3 straight and they were really feeling themselves.
No.
I don't know what it was because
it's not
the
that. I'm telling
attention
you.
to detail wasn't the same.
I'm telling you, man, the New Orleans Pelicans get a hard on for us when we pull up to the city, man. It's really the 96 Bulls. That is their NBA championship, man.
Okay.
It's something down there in New Orleans, the get you girls or the voodoo, something going on in that water.
That gun, maybe they had some gumbo and beignets.
Hey, stop that Popeye. That Popeye's different out there.
Hey, different out there.
Hey,
you ain't been different out there.
2 seasons.
Hey, it's different out there. But, Clippers were able to take care of business, picking up this win. It keeps them there at the 8th spot. Right there behind the Timberwolves. They trying to get back to 6. So they can get out this play.
If they wasn't playing with their food, they could have stayed at 6, man. They were on that skid over and over again. It's like now you playing catch up. It's like a philosophy of the Clippers. Let's play grab ass and see if we can hold it down. And all of a sudden now we're trying to chase it back up. But I look at it like this, right? The whole thing is to try to avoid the play-in. But if you don't avoid the play-in, now we're looking at a scenario that we're you
want to be 7 or 8 because you want to be able to win 1 game and then get right to it. You don't want to be 9 where you got to win 2, 1 road game. You want to be able, hell, if you can be 7, right, at least bring whoever to the Intuit Dome and make them have to deal with the wall and then, the nation.
I honestly want the Clippers to lock it down and give OKC a run for his money.
Oh, you want them to go 8?
I want to go 8 and I want to go visit OKC.
You don't want to deal with that Shea guy. He owe y'all.
No, I want to go deal with Shea because we used to have Shea.
He's supposed to be living in L.A. He like, man, y'all gonna feel my wrath making me live out here with the cows and everything.
Every day I wake up, I look at that trade and shake my head. Some people say you would make the trade at the time you made the trade. The answer is correct, but I would have swapped him for Terrence Mann.
Yeah, if you could have did it, that would have been nuts.
And speaking of Terrence, man, the Clippers are actually coming up to play.
Oh yeah, I like that Hawks. Transition, beef.
And
Friday night, 4:30
in Atlanta,
our time in Atlanta.
Get to see Boosie and the boys.
So they don't see. Hopefully they don't go because they was in New Orleans where it can get a little fun, Bourbon Street and all that. Hopefully they don't go to Atlanta and lose themselves.
It's kind of died down because Mardi Gras is pretty much done. Yeah, it's done with.
But they were there Monday, So I'm hoping that they didn't have too much fun Monday night and affect them Tuesday because they're gonna be in Atlanta tomorrow.
Ooh,
and
lemon pepper Lou, lemon pepper Lou.
Stay away from him. Stay away from him, man.
You better
definitely with James.
You better stop in Magic City and get that lemon pepper Lou special.
They gotta keep
James. You watch out, James Harden.
Nah, you gotta watch that boy.
You better watch James.
But they haven't played. Last time they played the Atlanta Hawks was towards the beginning of the year, January 4th. They knocked them off at the Intuit Dome, 131-105. They smacked them up.
But this is a different team. The Hawks have won their last 4 games.
Okay.
They the previous night went ahead and beat the Charlotte Hornets. Mm-hmm. So
the Charlotte Hornets.
But it's fine. But it's a game. It's a game you gotta pay attention to. You can't really not pay attention to teams that's not that good because that's when they're going to catch you slipping on that night.
No, facts.
So you're looking at a team that's coming in red hot. They're currently, the 7th seed in the East. And you got to pay attention to this because
that's crazy. The Hawks will be.
They will ruffle your feathers.
7th seed, yeah.
They will ruffle your feathers a little bit. So, again, something about the Atlanta Hawks that they like to do is run. Mm-hmm. So it's good that the Clippers put the heat away early. I was kind of shocked some of the stars was in late that night.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
Late that night. But they got to run. And this is going to be a game in which I expect a huge performance from Bogi because Bogi used to be in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I expect a big game from him, but the Clippers got to get ready to run. This might be a good identity game for our small ball lineup, even though Ben is not there, but Kawhi should be there.
Yeah, Kawhi should be there. The Hawks were able to pick up a win tonight, knocking off the Hornets, like you mentioned. 123-110, 35, 12, and 7 from Trey. 4 players off the bench scored double figures, including the former Clipper T-Man, who is going to be excited and trying to go all. He's probably telling them now, hey, we got my squad on Friday. Let's bring it to them.
What you think Bogi's saying? Bogi's saying, I used to be here.
True.
He's very close with Trae Young, you know? So they became friends in like one big community and circle like that. So it's going to be a big game. I'm going to be tuned in.
No, yeah, it's in Clipper Nation. We know you're going to be tuned in. Can Zoo keep it going? Can he make it 11 straight doubles? And how impressive will it be? Kawhi returning. Last time we saw him 28 points in the loss to the Pelicans, because I know he's going to want to try to get a dub.
Oh, yeah.
James, what type of performance he's going to have? Bogi, like the Clippers has an opportunity to go 2-1 on this road trip, so they really need this, because in their last 5 games, you win 3 straight, you lose, you win 1, so they're 4-1. This would be a nice win before they get, I hope, which is a gimme on Sunday when we're in the building,
yes, sir.
Inside the Intuit, when they face off against the Charlotte Hornets. So it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a really good one. Clippers Hawks Friday night, but they pick up the win tonight. Clipper Nation knocking off the Chicago Bulls, the Miami Heat.
You think about New Orleans? Let them
I'm
breathe.
thinking about New Orleans. They knock off the Miami Heat, picking up a win, 119-104. Clippers are doing some good things, and we don't know when Norm is going to be back, which is crazy. We haven't really heard anything.
We'll stay tuned. As of right now, he's still out against the Atlanta Hawks.
Yep.
He might be making his return against the Hornets. We'll see.
Yeah.
Still, the hamstring it was a 10-day gap before they fire him back up. So I honestly think they probably won't fire him back up until they get home. So
yeah,
just hold tight.
Hopefully, Coach is good to go.
Coach, we're gonna fire him back up too. He's on injuries. He didn't make this road trip.
Yeah.
Due to some he had some back issues as well.
Yeah.
So we gonna get it right.
Yeah. So Clipper Nation, I know y'all ready. I'm pretty sure. What we going with? Clippers get the win Friday night?
Indubitably.
Okay. you heard what he said. Indubitably, they're going to take care of business. So we hope to see you guys Sunday. We're going to be in the building Sunday. Hopefully the Clippers are going to roll in on a 2-game winning streak, looking to make it 3 as they try to get into that top 6. Michael Matthew, my guy B, Full Clip Clippers Unleashed, in the stew, doing our thing, baby. Infinity Studios, where only magic happens. So we see you guys Sunday. Enjoy Friday night. Hopefully Clippers make it happen. We'll see you guys soon.
Let's go.